Happy Black History Month. Make sure that this month you are honoring Black creators, Black artists, Black businesses. It's so important that we are celebrating the diversity in our world, especially in the USA. I think it's super important to honor Black people in general. The Black community has inspired our world so much, whether that be with music, with, art, with fashion trends, creativity, cooking, parenting, mothering, spirituality. The Black community has been a backbone for so much more than is given credit for. We even had slaves mothering slave masters' children, teaching them how to cook and properly season their food with particular rituals, how to dance with rhythm rather than looking robotic. I mean, the whole trend of the BBL comes from Black women's bodies, as well as lip fillers that comes from Black women's natural beautiful features. So I think it's important to not just cosplay Black women, but to really give credit where it's due. My mother was adopted. She is mulatto, but all of her sisters were mixed race Black women. And, that was the backbone and root of my feminine understanding from a young age. And they all were different shades, different tones, different body sizes and types. And they really taught me so much about taking up space and being who I am, and not allowing people to make me feel weak for being different. As I was raised in a Caucasian environment, I was really different. I got made fun of all the time. I was called Black girl, even though I'm very light skinned and I'm also European and Spanish. But both of my parents, my father is Black and my mom is Black too. And the women that, I was around when I was younger, they were Black. They taught me how to be loud, be bold, be beautiful, and to not be ashamed of who I am. And I think that's something that Black women always give any space they're in. They're just like unapologetically themselves, and they're very big and bold. And I also think that's why their energy seems to be too big for some people, because it's just a lot of woman. A lot of divine feminine sky goddess energy from the darkness of the womb, that first original creation point coming from Black women, 0 point, that is something that can never be ignored. Or you see it now in our cultures with people trying to emulate African features or Black features, especially if you're the type to have a BBL or a enhancement on your face to make you resemble more of an African woman or a Black woman. I think it's really important that you give a little credit, give some business, throw some donations in for Black cultures. Celebrate the diversity when it comes time for it. We still even have these types of things going on with Black women nannying certain people's children, mating certain people's children, chefing for certain people. I think it's important to honor the Black culture for where they stand out, and for their gifts. Not every diverse, especially in this melting pot of a country, everyone deserves to have their diversity celebrated. Every race has gifts and talents that they gift this world, and I think it's really important to not just culturally appropriate, but really give credit where it's due, and pay the influence rather just snatching it for ourselves. Music, for example, there's so much music that comes originally from Black people. They were the ones to first create it, and that started movements and inspiration for other cultures to get started. So, it is February, it's Black History Month. Just make sure this is just your reminder to celebrate the diversity, and that can bring in a lot of healing for people that may feel overshadowed or ignored or taken advantage of, and might feel a little salty about that. So yes, celebrate Black people this month, Black businesses, support Black creators, Black artists, purchase their artwork, go in their business, put other people onto their business. let them know how much of a good job they're doing, ask to hear their familial stories and where they came from and how they came to learn these things. Super grateful for all the beautiful women that I was raised around and that taught me so much about being a Black woman. It's just like one of the most beautiful things. When I think about it, it's just so wholesome and real. It's like I was in a space last night and it was all Black women chatting and talking about a lot of this matriarchal wound that we have in this country and a lot of the things that have been taken from the matriarchy and what we are doing to funnel that work and to reweave. And I was just speechless the whole time, really, because it was such a beautiful space of realness and so much respect. There was so much respect, so much influence, so much rawness, so much authenticity. We were all respecting each other. We were all allowing each other to speak. There was no one belittling another person. We were answering questions. So much knowledge was shared. And it wasn't for a fee. The only fee was to be respectful and to reciprocate respect and reciprocate love and have an open mind. It was no one trying to colonize each other. And if someone had information that wasn't correct, we politely corrected each other. And I'm just like, this is what it's about. This is the wholesomeness that we need. And when given the space, Black people, especially Black women, they are able to hold the most raw, real, unmatched spaces for healing and for direct understanding. And everyone feels held, seen, and loved and warm and fed. Their souls feel fed from that. And it's not just Black women, it's brown women too, but it's Black History Month, so I'm highlighting that. And I'm a mixed woman, so I'm always going to give credit where it's due, especially during the times of years that call for it. It's not ever that I pick one side over the other, but I can feel pains from, different things, different ancestral wounds that need healing. And I'm going to say some things sometimes that might get people in their ego, or they might be like, oh, what about white people? Yes, white people have had their time with certain things, and it's okay to give different people the microphone. It's okay to put different things on pedestals at different times, that way everyone gets a seat, and the driver's seat, everyone gets a chance to be seen, heard, and celebrated without, glazing over it. And, there's been a lot of ancestral wounds with Black and brown people, and it's still in the field these days. As I've said, Neptune and Aries, the last time that was during the Civil War. So a lot of us still have these DNA wounds that aren't being healed because they aren't properly being acknowledged. So it doesn't really take much. But if you don't have money, you can share Black artists' artwork. You can share them with your people, just help get their names out there. If there's an artist or a poet that you really like, and you're inspired by, share them with the world, share them with your world, and inspire other people to celebrate the beautiful diversity that we have on this planet, because it is beautiful. We all have different gifts, different talents, different influence to give this world, and we'll do a lot better if we're properly celebrating people and not just hogging up the microphone for one group or one influence. That's how we get to the point we're at now, that we need to correct. It needs to remain beautiful and diverse, and people need to respect other people's influence and time, and not just culturally appropriate or ignore or steal or occupy or colonize, but really give the space and listen. Sometimes people just need to sit down and listen and not talk over people, and just be respectful and just learn, be open to learning from other people that maybe you have no idea what it's like to be someone like that, because your skin is different and your DNA is different, your ancestry is different. So happy Black History Month to all my brothers and sisters, and I hope you are celebrated, loved, pockets richer, bank accounts fatter, hearts happier, and yes, all the blessings to you this February.